Hi everyone, Tammy here. Welcome to my channel and another challenge that I'm doing with Marna over at Dolls Rescue. We need your help, everybody. And it means a lot to us that you're here watching our videos and helping with this challenge. Please watch my video until the very end and then sit back and think for a minute and rank it between 1 and 10. 10 being the highest, subliminal message, 1 being the lowest. After you've watched my video and voted and given me your ranking, then head over to Marna's channel. I'll have her linked below, and I'm also going to tag her. Then you go watch her video, same thing, watch her video to the end, and then rank her video between 1 and 10. After a few days, when we feel like all of our viewers have gotten an opportunity to rank us, we will then calculate all of the ranking numbers that we received, and whoever has the highest number at the end will win the challenge. Now, let me just say, we both have our big girl panties on. So I know sometimes people, hesitate about ranking us. They'll leave a comment, which I love that. But then they'll say something like, well, I don't really feel comfortable giving you a number. We have our big girl panties on. We can handle it, folks. And by the way, if you put in hashtag CruellaAsADoll into the YouTube search box, not only will my video pop up and Marna's video pop up from Dolls Rescue, you will also hopefully see lots of other videos from YouTube creators who are joining us. You don't have to vote for them. They're just joining in to have some fun. You only have to vote for Marna and myself. Now let me get behind the camera and I'll share my creative process of how I turned my Blythe doll into CruellaAsADoll. This little doll is not Cruella, obviously. I got her recently, and she's going to be working as my model as I work on the first dress that I am sort of imagining. And I'm going to try to tackle, first of all, the Cruella red fire dress that's in the new Cruella Disney movie. And we'll see. I am not 100% sure if I'm going to be able to pull this off, but I'm going to give it a shot. I have some red fabric here. I've taken measurements of the doll body. This looks terrible, but it just helps me. This is sort of what I'm thinking, a way to structure the dress. Again, these are just notes for myself. I am not Beth Ramsden, to say the least, when it comes to drawing doll drawings. Okay. Shout out to Beth Ramsden, wonderful channel. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start winging it a little bit. Like I said, I have sort of a game plan here. I've taken all of her measurements. My real Cruella is hanging up here in the dolly sewing room with some other Blythe dolls. But I'm having her stay here for a little while. She will be in her red dress, hopefully, in a few hours. All right, so I've started the top, and so far things are working out like I'm hoping for. My idea is basically to make a rectangle for the top, a longer rectangle for the skirt, and then a ruffled area for the bottom. That's what this horrible sketch here is supposed to be showing. And I'm thinking of putting some darts at the top and maybe a little gathering here. And so my idea is to make a bunch of strips and attach them to a piece of fabric. So there'll be 2 layers to this if it works out like I imagined, which I could be delusional. And I think it's going to work out. I've got it pinned back here. Next, I'm going to just try to put in a couple of darts right in here and hopefully not mess this up. Fingers crossed. All right, mental note, I need to work and practice my darts, but I did manage to get them done. But I'm going to go ahead and put some fray check on the edge here, and I'm going to start working on the skirt part while the top dries with the fray check. And again, I'm going to make sort of a rectangle piece, and it's just going to be from, which I will attach to the top. So it's going to start from kind of an empire waist and work its way down almost to her feet. I'm going to have the ruffle part at the end, so that's probably a good, maybe a couple of inches. All right, so I have a couple more rectangles here in my rectangle design. This is going to be the ruffle, I imagine. And this is the skirt. So I'm going to go ahead and do a zigzag stitch. You can use fray check, but on these bigger pieces, I just find it easier just to zigzag all the edges. All right, so I basted the skirt onto the top to kind of get a look-see here. Her hips are bigger than her top, so it has to be a little bit bigger through here. A tad bigger than I wanted it to be because it does need to be pretty snug around her hips. So what I'm doing now is I'm just kind of putting it on her and I'm pinning it a little bit to see how, yeah, so I'm pinning it and then I'm going to stitch up here a little bit and then leave enough of an opening so I can get it on and off of her, obviously. But it's coming. It's here. Let me flip her around here. It is looking promising. All right, so I'm moving on to the what I call the ruching part of this red dress, and I think it's working out like I hope it's working out like I planned. I know there are other ways to ruche. I did some research on this, but I don't know. I thought this might work as far as scale goes. It might be a little bit, I don't know, easier. So what I'm doing is I'm taking strips of fabric and I'm basically turning them into bias tape, what they call bias tape, where you kind of fold it like this and you make these narrow strips, okay? And then I'm stitching them sort of at a diagonal. I've got just some pins in here to hold it to see how it's working, which is what I'm trying to angle it this way. So I'm making the bias tape, pinning it onto the dress, and then I'm stitching it, and then I will sew up part of the dress in the back and put on a clasp back there for her. So it's coming along. It looks promising. I still have to put the ruffle on as well. Still a lot of work in progress here. In fact, this is why I really enjoy these challenges I've been doing with Dolls Rescued. She and I make these lofty goals, and then we have to, you know, make something happen, make the dolly magic happen, right? So yeah, that's where I'm at right now, and I will be back to show you more progress in a little while. All right, everybody, I'm about to reveal one of 3 dresses I made for the Cruella as a Doll challenge that I'm doing with Marna over at Dolls Rescued. As I said, the first one I wanted to do was the red dress that is from the new Disney movie, Cruella de Vil Disney movie, and yeah, here it is. On the doll, on my Cruella doll. So, by the way, this is a stand that was made by Marta's husband, Darren. Thank you so much, you guys. A viewer gave me the idea of using this fabric to create a backdrop, and I have a box here, and then I just drape the fabric over it, and then I have some more fabric down here, so it makes a nice little photographic area. So yeah, so I added a double ruffle down here to create the kind of flamey look. These are those strips that I ironed, folded, and stitched onto the tube dress that I made. And then the top here, I've got darts in here, and then I wrapped a piece of fabric that I also folded and ironed to make sort of a I don't know what you call it, but there was an extra piece that went around her neck. So I have wrapped it around, and I have to say it's a little, I cheated a little bit. Oh, she's gonna fall over. This doll is super floppy. Let me see if I can show you in the back. I did pin it back there with a clip. I can't really show you guys. Oh, there you go. See there? I'm going to admit I clipped it in the back because I couldn't really figure out a way to get this on her that it wouldn't be on there forever. So that way I just, like I said, I stitched it down here, but then I wrapped it around her neck and pinned it. But I think overall it gives pretty much the vibe that I wanted to give. And now I'm going to change her and put her in another outfit that I made, a second dress that I think kind of nods to the movie, but isn't necessarily an attempt at doing an exact type of dress like I did here. But yeah, here is the Red Flame Cruella dress. All right, so the first dress I made is as close to being accurate to a design that is from the new Cruella movie, But I did that one first. I wanted to make one dress that was like as close to an actual costume from the movie as possible. My second dress that I'm going to attempt is a inspired dress from the movie. I'm not trying to be exactly like it, but there's one scene where Cruella is, I think she's standing on top of some sort of car, and she has what looks like a black military style top with a really long train, and it's all red, and I believe it might be flowers or something like that. So this is sort of a nod to that. I am not trying to make that exact dress, but I decided I made a black little long sleeve top here, and the bottom of the dress I'm going to do a very long almost with a train type of skirt. So, and then I kind of curved it, and my thoughts are I already did some zigzag around it. You can see, finished it off with some zigzag. I'm going to do a basting stitch, gathering stitch up here. I'm going to hem it, and then I'm going to attach it to this black top. Then my thoughts are, if all goes well, if that works like I think it's going to, I am going to do some embellishment on this little top to give it sort of a similar military kind of look to that particular dress in the movie. Alright, so I finished off the skirt and I've attached it to the top, and now I'm going to go dig around in my jewelry making supplies, and look for some small chain and maybe some other little embellishments, and attempt to attach them to the top and kind of, I don't know, embellish, jazz it up, what have you. But so far here is the dress with the longer skirt, and it's sort of like a angled train. All right, took some doing. Like I said, this is a very floppy doll. She does not stand up well. Sometimes that happens with these jointed dolls, but she is now in my other dress. So this one I used some CruellaAsADoll fabric that I got, and you can see it's got pictures of her face and all kinds of little sayings all over it. I made the top just a black top that's long sleeved, and then I added some gold buttons, and then this white and gold chain that I stitched it up on here to give it a little bit of that military flair. Again, I'm not trying to, this is not a duplicate of what was on the movie. This is more of a nod to it, a similar vibe, if you will. Let me turn her around here. You can see if I hold her from the side, I can't figure out a way to hold her and show, or have her stand by herself and show the skirt. But there you go. But anywho, well, don't fall, girl. Just hold on. She's gonna fall. Just hold on. Let me finish this. So anyway, so I have one more dress to show you guys. Hold on. All right, here she is in a third dress. This one is just one I made using a pattern that I modified, very similar to the dress that I made for Snow White with the puffy sleeves. Other than the fabric, which has CruellaAsADoll on it, and I put her face here in the center, and it says CruellaAsADoll up on her sleeves. Obviously, this has no connection to the movie. I just really like this fabric, and I wanted to combine the patterns, and so that's what I ended up making. Just a fun little extra dress for her, and I like how it turned out. All right, so I'm going to be back and show you all three outfits on three different dolls. One of them will be her, but then obviously I only have one Cruella doll. I want to show you all three outfits all together. So make sure that after you check out our videos, go ahead and do a search on hashtag CruellaAsADoll, and that way you can watch all the other videos of the YouTube creators out there who are joining us. And our next collaboration is Maleficent, so make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you get information about that next collaboration. Marna and I will be doing some updates on it, some teasers, getting everybody ready for that one, and give you the information about the due date and all that kind of stuff. But right now, We're still all about Cruella, so I look forward to your comments below. And as usual, have a wonderful Dolly Day. Bye-bye.